So to kick this off, I would like to, well, thank everybody for the great energy yesterday during the mint. There was a little bit of a speed bump there to begin with, where the image just didn't load, but everybody was super patient and okay with that. So that went smooth in the end, and I think it was a successful mint. And I mean, it was so cool to see in the Flex channel all these different squids, and I think what was it, Ben from Coaching Crypto? Man, he took one of these large ones, and I think that is probably the most beastly one I've seen so far. And also thanks to everybody who also shared their squids on Twitter. It means a lot to us to see that you guys are spreading the word, because in the end we're trying to educate everybody about the importance of what Marinade is trying to accomplish here. And you all know our mission is to decentralize and secure Solana, and in the end make Solana more valuable. And when I say more valuable, I mean what we're trying to do here is make perhaps even the Sol token more valuable in the end with what we're doing here. So thanks everybody for awesome energy, and thanks to all the chefs as well who did a great job with making this happen. So that's the way to kick it off. And Ellie, obviously we want to talk a little bit about your art here, because all of us are wearing what you designed. And what was your reaction to see suddenly everybody wearing these things that you designed? Like, what's your feelings now, post mint, so to say?
Well, if you were hyped when you were going to sleep yesterday, I was probably the double. I don't know. It's just very special. It's kind of overwhelming, but yeah, it was shadowed by my own existential crisis, because I also minted a few of them, and then I was like, but which am I? Like, which NFT is the one that's gonna represent me? Which I also saw on Twitter that some people were asking the same question, like, who am I now? Which one represents me the best? But yeah, then Pierre came and rescued me, and he was like, Ellie, this is for you. This is the one you should have. So he was actually dealing this to me. So yeah, I bought it from him.
Nice. And so from the Flex channel, were there an NFT there that you spotted that you were like, oof, that made you like get the shivers or something like that?
Yeah, but I mean, Ben's was really cool. Like, it was rare, and it was the level 5. You don't see a lot of level 5s out there, so it was really cool to see one in the wild. And yeah, I think there were a few other ones that before we minted them, I was like, I hope someone mints this one, because it's really cool. I mean, the level 4s are also obviously really awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, and I actually see one that I really like now in the audience there, and it's Mount Koji. Like, I'm weak for those cool glasses, man, and I like those yellow squids as well. And you got a yellow squid with a yellow background. That's pretty rare, I would say.
Yeah, the yellow ones are my favorites as well.
Looking good, Mount Koji. So yeah, it was quite a ride yesterday, and then obviously not only for the chefs involved, but for everybody involved who was participating in the mint. And the mint is still ongoing. And one aspect of the mint that I want to share that I found super interesting was like this kind of expectations people have from regular NFT degen mints, so to say. You know, when you buy for like one sol, you buy one. It's a limited like supply, and people like ape and try to get as many as quick as possible. But the nature of our mint is a little bit different, right? We stake the Marinade token, and when we stake the token, it depends on how much tokens we stake, and you get a certain level. So, for example, like Ben here, who has like the beast, he staked like more than 250k Marinade tokens and got one PFP for that, or one NFT for that. Whereas, I have a tiny squid in my profile pic, and that one is 1,000 Marinade tokens. So like it's a little bit different nature and characteristics to this mint than people are normally used to. And I find it personally super intriguing to follow like how people react to this and so on. So just wanted to add that. But moving on, we want to hear from Gekon, who has been one of the masterminds behind this idea with the NFTs and is putting a lot of effort. And we all should be super grateful for the things that he and also the other people within the work group that has made this happen. And Gekon, what was your reaction to the mint?
Yeah, I think it's super cool to see something that you've been like thinking about and working on for such a long time. I think we've been like basically like shaping this for 4 months, come alive, and seeing all the reactions from people that minted the chef and were sharing it with others, and there were like a couple of first swaps, people trying to like experiment with unlocking. Yeah, like a lot of fun, but maybe it's not really about me. So when I was making notes for this like AMA, I think what I really want to do is, instead of talking about myself and my involvement, I want to talk a bit more about the feeling in the team yesterday, because this is actually a huge team effort. And for me, it really manifested just when we were deploying the mint button on the front end. There were like 15 people in a call, all synchronizing about what to do, if everything is ready, if everything is working, what should be done next, if transactions are working, what is the state or status of Solana, if transactions will go through. And that was really exciting. So I know that there will be like few people talking in here, and my goal is to say like this has been like the whole Marinade team's effort, starting from like developers to community moderators, to people writing stuff on Twitter, to people like thinking with the numbers and designing governance. So it's not just Ali drawing the cutest things or Sep being the loudest on Discord, but like really, I think like over 10, 15 people has been involved in this, and that has been like, I think, one of the greatest team building experiences so far, doing something together. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, you guys who has been on the top of it on a daily basis throughout all of this time developing this has done an amazing job. And I also want to give a shout out to Angus, who within our DAO that has been doing a great job leading this project together with Gekon as well. So big shout out to Angus, but also obviously everybody involved, like the devs as well. Roman, like, is doing his magic in the back end, and yeah, super grateful for that. So Gekon, what would be the next steps for the NFTs here from your point of view?
So again, maybe a different answer than is expected. Why Marinade is doing NFTs? It's not just nice looking, amazing art done by Ali, but this is supposed to be a trick on everyone's brain to have some fun when doing a serious governance on a biggest liquid staking protocol on Solana. So now you have like a cool picture, and you see everyone else having a similar one that kind of represents them. But the goal is not to have a picture, but to use it as like a rabbit hole, as an open gesture, as like a open doorway to start governing on the future of liquid staking on Solana. And I think like even with the like ease of yesterday's mint and overall like progress on Marinade, this is really set up to be like a start of amazing new phase of Marinade DAO, when people will be finally able to vote and propose on stuff and like to cooperate in the open. So this is for me the ultimate goal of NFTs, because, and I hope we've been really clear about that, these NFTs are just like a box to put your Marinade token in that has like a sticker written governance on it. So let's govern. That being said, you can also if you get bored or you want to find your new identity, you can just now start exploring the secondary markets. I think on Magic Eden there's already a collection listed and verified. We're talking with Solcy to also move the collection from pre-market to market stage. And if you are already settled on a squid you like, that's great, because then there's the end phase, which is go to the forum. There are already a couple of proposals that are being shaped there, and like think about it. Think what's written there. If this is a good or a bad step for Marinade, tell others, including chefs, like how do you see the future of Marinade? What would be the best for you? What would be the best seeing your subjective reality, so we can together come to the best possible outcome?
Yeah, that's what it's all about in the end. Like together to govern Marinade. And the interesting aspect to this is that I already saw some very interesting discussions from several community members that had acquired some squids yesterday. So there was some pretty cool chats in both the Marinator chat, but then later on in the governance chat we have, and that kind of moved over to the forum for a couple of forum posts with some really good ideas that I myself look forward to reading in detail and share my thoughts on. So yeah, let's govern and decentralize Marinade and decentralize Solana. So Gekon, when it comes to the liquidity mining program, where are we right now with that?
I think like I'm still shaping up the plan for the next 2 weeks, which will possibly include the governance festival. I just need to like pick myself up from the yesterday's experience of minting and supporting the technology. So in the evening, I'll start working on that, and you'll get the update on Thursday. What we are looking to in like perspective of Solana is, basically, if we can continue the mission, which was condensating the, how to put it, avenues where we want to AMSOL to be dominant. So we've already starting the strategy in liquidity mining. You've seen maybe cutting some pools that were not performing enough. I'm gonna revise them with the same perspective and put on proposal for chefs to like decide if it's the way to go. One particular protocol I'm really considering like nominating for bigger incentives or bigger APY is Solent. I think that it's becoming really the place to experiment and to deposit your collateral to borrow against. It's way bigger than any other lending protocol currently on Solana, and that's one angle. And another angle is that developers are, and we've been talking with a couple of them, are thinking on utilizing the main lending pool or the isolated liquidity pools or lending pools for different DeFi experiments. And I think like Marinade should be basically supporting this sort of experimentation and building with interesting APY for depositors.
Cool. And regarding liquidity mining program, now that we have on-chain governance, will our community that is participating in the DAO now through the NFT be able to also participate in discussions around the liquidity mining program?
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. I just didn't manage to write a proper forum proposal the last week, as we were like finalizing the bits and pieces of the NFT minting. But among my task for next week is basically create a frame in which the liquidity mining decisions can be handed over to governance and community. So it's not just a small circle of chefs planning everything and analyzing, talking with the protocols and talking with the users, but the governance community or Marinade community saying where the incentives should go, which protocols are cool. And it also, like, we've seen some drama in Solana, and for chefs, this could be also a way how to include such voices. When we are building in Marinade, it's really like hard to see what's happening elsewhere and understanding the details. So I think this could be a direct way how to influence where Marinade is basically providing or subsidizing the MNDE tokens and where not.
So when you say like a framework like that, does that mean that the community will be able to, on a regular basis, participate in deciding these details around the liquidity mining program? Or is it going to be like one-offs?
No, it's definitely going to be on a permanent, regular basis. At least that's the dream, that you would basically vote on your preference, and until you change that, it just would like contribute to this protocol or this gauge. Basically, it's the ideal way for us building on Tribeca is to utilize the Gauges technology, and you've seen the proposal, or I hope you have seen one of the most interesting proposals in Solana DeFi on utilizing the Gauges to vote with Marinade State Pool that you can read on our forum. And in a similar way, we can use and leverage the same already developed like technology for liquidity mining and just direct MNDE almost in like real time with voting to like avenues and protocols.
Okay, that's awesome. Personally, I'm really looking forward to those things. It's just going to be so cool to be able to participate as a community like that, or as a DAO like that. Okay, so did you have anything else to add regarding that, Gekon?
No, I just like to move over to why Player of Bits is joining us on stage. I think that's the most exciting thing I happened to hear on or like during the weekend or on Friday.
Cool. Okay, so as everybody who is here in the Discord listening to the live stream, you see that Player of Bits is here on stage. Unfortunately, he has not gathered enough courage to change his PFP yet, so he's the only one here without a squid. And so we have a pretty cool update. So the reason why Player of Bits is here is because he is going to help Marinade DAO coordinate and lead the governance aspects of things. So he's going to play a huge role in making the governance a smooth, nice, and a structured experience. So, Player Bits, the stage is yours. Maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit.
I mean, no pressure, right? So, folks, I think most of you have, or a lot of you have already had exchanges with or on the Marinade channel, so you know how I look at things in general, overall, including the governance shenanigans that we've seen in other projects, which ideally we're going to be able to avoid here. I mean, quite frankly, I have it easy. It feels like I'm showing up to a party that the team has done a great work of putting together through all these months. But when we were discussing this, I think that the key thing, I mean, if I can get on a soapbox for a second here, it increasingly looks like proof of stake is the future. And if that is the case, then figuring out stake decentralization is, as everybody has said, a fundamental security problem. And clearly to me, like the only way to do this right is to actually help secure decision-making Marinade itself, because staking and vote and power concentration is just another form of centralization. So to me, the ideal thing here is that becomes the end goal of governance, basically. Like you let the community and Marinade holders set the direction, with us chefs just executing and worrying about implementation details. So the way that we have been discussing and how I see this is that the role is effectively to steward discussion here, not set the agenda. That's completely on you folks. And in no small measure, this is a plumbing job. If you do your job right, nobody notices. If you don't do it right, then everything gets full of crap. So help me out. If the governance plumbing ever seems to be a problem, just reach out, give me crap about anything, including not having the right PFP, and we'll work on fixing it. So
I'm gonna bug you a lot about that PFP, man.
I am sure you will.
No,
I almost feel like I shouldn't change it now just to stay strong.
gosh, my plan is not working.
Maybe what I'll do is just add a little chef hat on top of this guy's head.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, I'm super glad that you're taking part in this effort, and I know your worth, and you're a big brain. So it's a really good addition for Marinade, and it makes me even more bullish on the governance aspects moving forward.
You're making me blush here. Thanks.
So for example, if I have a cool idea that I have, but I have a problem with perhaps writing it down in a well-structured manner to present it as a proposal on the forum, would I in the future be able to get your assistance with that, or will there be some kind of documentations around that, or have you given that any thought?
Yep, that's actually one of the things that we want to do is just basically come up with an initial proposal template up to a point that we can use for this kind of things to help guide the discussion about the type of things that we want to see in a proposal. Say, what do we think should happen? Why does this help Marinade? Why does this help Solana? This kind of things, and then we'll iterate on them. The idea is not to be too prescriptive here, but to provide some initial guardrails, basically, like a template that people can easily use to get their ideas straight.
That's awesome. So yeah, you guys heard it. It's going to be quite a smooth experience when it comes to participating in the governance. Even if you don't really know how to get started, you will have the tools that will enable you to participate on this level.
And quite looking forward to the things that people do suggest, actually.
Yeah. So, thanks a lot for giving us the chance here at Marinade to work with you in this regard, Player Bits. And so let's move forward to the next segment here, and that is, where are we currently with the forum proposals? So there is a couple of proposals on the forum already. My favorite one that makes me the most bullish is the proposal about validator like gouges voting for stake. And there's also a proposal about collaboration with the project. And there's also now several other ideas shared yesterday in the forum, like I mentioned earlier, too. So, Gekon, I think you have a pretty good view on the state of these proposals. Where are we right now, for example, with the validator gouges proposal? And what would be the next steps from your perspective?
Sorry, I got lost in Discord trying to squeeze some more work before before getting. So I think basically now we are facing like a line of last call. So for me, I think the most finished proposal is the one about validator gauges, but I'm still not convinced that it has like a full community support, or is if everyone has a chance to write their comments. Even though that I saw a lively discussion between validators. So I think, and this is part of the reason why I'm so excited about Player of Bits being here, that he can now take the role of master of ceremonies and ask for like last calls or final objections, because if none are given, the proposal will be basically transported to the Tribeca governance as a formal one, as a draft, and then anyone can really activate it using the power of their NFT. So this is I think the first one that will be voted on one of the first. But here I want to be surprised, and there's like 50 people listening to this. So even though that the validator gauges proposal looks really almost finished, maybe there could be a faster horse in the race if it shapes up really well, or it just like makes complete sense or fits into the either problem or an opportunity we are seeing. So please surprise me. Otherwise, we're gonna go according to what's already half baked.
Cool. So does that mean that we want to give it some more time to discuss this validator proposal before we move forward to a vote?
Yeah, I think more time. I just want to not basically miss anyone who has been thinking and contemplating one like angle in the third dimension or fifth dimension to miss their chance to comment, because there are some slow thinkers and I think we actually need more of them interested in governance.
Got it. But it is something that us chefs here has been looking forward to see through this proposal and move to a vote as soon as we can, really. But like you say, there, it has to be done in a good fashion, so we can be sure that everybody who wants to can share their point of view and thoughts.
Maybe let me summarize. Anyway, the proposal gonna be moving in a relatively slow pace. So if you have a draft proposal inside the governance that's properly linked with the forum thread, it's gonna basically simmer for 1 day when moving from a draft to active stage. Then there's a 5-day period of voting. So even if your cold wallet is resting at the bottom of a sea, you will have a time to fish it out, put it in your ledger or phantom wallet or whatever you are using, and get ready to vote. Hopefully 5 days is enough. And then if we reach quorum, which is currently 7 million MNDE, which is conveniently like just the amount that is now being logged in the governance, and thank you everyone for that. Anyway, if the vote passes after 5 days, there's like a 5 days of period that basically should allow anyone to rage quit or to go away because they disagree with, and it serves like a bumper against bad decision. So only after those 5 days, the team should start doing something or should stop doing something in case of different proposals. So it's not gonna be like chasing a minute. It will move in like reasonable pace. Yeah, just to set up the expectations. We're here to govern like one of the biggest projects on Solana. Better do it properly.
Yeah, well said. No half-done measures here, no. That doesn't work in our kitchen. We need to serve the best tasting food, right? So, okay, thanks for that update, Gekon. And so, Michael, I'm going to give the stage to you. And I would love to hear a little bit more about the token exchange program, like where we are with that and the plan and actually like kind of the mission with this token exchange program. Because some people think that we try to raise funds, but maybe that is not actually the case. So, Michael, the stage is yours. If you try to speak, Michael, we cannot hear you right now, just so you know.
Yeah, I think he's also clicking to Discord, replying to that one last thing.
I saw him unmuting, so I think there might be something with this microphone. Okay, so while Michael is fixing his microphone, I would like to ask a question to another chef here on the stage, and that is Brandon Bituk, who came to become a chef quite recently, in the beginning of this year, right? And I would love to hear from your perspective, because you come from like the old legacy world when it comes to media and communications and so on. And this was probably the first NFT mint big event you participated in. And from your perspective, how did everything go yesterday?
Wow, yeah, it was exciting, and it was exciting to watch. And just to give a little background on where I come from, I'm more of the DeFi degen. I'm not really the NFT degen. I'm not grinding on whitelists and all that. So the one thing I will say that I was very pleased to see the direction Marinade went in terms of just avoiding all the whitelist stuff. And and just in monitoring Twitter too, I was anticipating maybe seeing people coming in writing to us that they got scammed by somebody or things like that, and I saw none of that, and I'm just really glad that we set up a very clear method to go unlock these tokens for NFT. So it was exciting, and I'll say that I know the whole team was involved because we were on our group call yesterday, and everyone in Europe is winding it down, and it's getting very late there, and everyone says they're going to go to bed. And lo and behold, 2 hours later, I still see everyone online talking about their NFTs and the process. So it is addicting. Like late last night, went out to a nice dinner, came back, and I was like, oh, you know what? I think if I move a couple of things around, I can get one more NFT. And I'm like drunk, minting like myself. So I consider me hooked. And now I just gotta keep getting my squids.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I had this strategy myself to mint as many level 1 squids I could until I got the cool glasses. So it kind of worked out. But now I'm gonna, I don't know, like maybe burn a bunch of them to get more MNDE back so I can mint some more. I don't know, we'll see. But it was a quite entertaining way to go about it with this different levels, to be honest. But I can hear, I heard Michael,
All good.
your
Yes,
microphone
I'm
is
all good.
working.
Thanks a
Okay,
lot.
so
Yeah.
the token exchange program, man. So how are we looking at it? Is it a race, or is it to raise funds? Do we need funds? So what is it really about? And also, what's the status actually?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do that. And thanks for setting the stage. And then my mic was unfortunately not working. So let's do it. The ecosystem token exchange program that we just hinted on the Medium article recently. I think that we can go through the 3 pillars or the motivation why we would like to introduce this idea to the community. And so to touch the first pillar, I think that we need to go back to how Marinade was created. And since Marinade was done without any VC funding, without any private or public token sale, it resulted in relatively low float of around 7% tokens out there in circulation, which makes it kind of hard to buy in without suffering slippage. So as the Marinade only allowed to get in and to get the tokens, we said from the beginning only by contribution, either by liquidity mining, that was the program set up from the beginning, or through contribution in the DAO, with your effort and work, and the energy you put into working here. So that was one part where there is relatively low float of the tokens out there. Another thing is that the centralization is, we call it a trade-off here in Marinade. So if as you move to decentralization, you are losing something else. And for Marinade, from the beginning, we felt like we needed to adapt quickly since we didn't know what's lying ahead. So that's why most of the privileges and most of the power lied on the Marinade team itself. But now we feel like we are ready to take the next step and to accelerate and to let everybody in and to govern all together. And the third thing, the third pillar, is that since Marinade is just not another DeFi application and not another exchange on Solana, the way we see it is this infrastructure level solution, really a public good serving for everybody on Solana, for the users, for the protocol, for the network itself, to make it more robust. So we feel like it's time to let everybody in, to open up, and even to set an example that while competition is healthy, we believe that collaboration is even better. So we feel like that, be it validators, market makers, protocols, the VCs, Solana team themselves, and other builders around Solana, they should all be part of the governance, and they should all join the initial Marinade effort to make this the right way. And that's why we came up with this idea of this token exchange program that we just shared through a Medium article, not fully baked idea, but as a start, as a reference point, what we would like to do as the Marinade DAO, and that's to set aside 10% MNDE tokens from the treasury and to exchange it with the right partners. And one phase of it would be through a public round, which will be permissionless and anybody can participate to set the reference price point better than it is set now, with which such a low float, and we even see more tokens to be locked out there. And then the next phase to be more like a private or like permissioned round, where since we've been break even from the very start, so this whole thing is not really about raising funds. It's more like about aligning the incentives and to get the most valuable, beneficial, and working parties who are in Solana for the long run, to get them in Marinade and let them govern together. So that's like the whole idea behind the program. At the moment, we are still building the phase 1, which will be sealed bid auction. So that will allow people to bid on an allocation of MNDE permissionlessly. And then the next phase, which is, I would say, already started, is talking to the interested parties on Solana that they would like to be let in Marinade, and we are basically asking them what they are going to bring. And everything, all of that will be brought to the community in a public, transparent manner. So all the promises made by the parties that they would like to participate will be made public, so that all the community and everybody understands why the DAO picked those people and why these parties got those allocations in the permission round. And the major thing that we'll be probably looking at is the effect on the TVL, so what the partner can bring in, it's all staked. And besides that, there might be many more things that we might look at. Let's say the market making, if it's an infrastructure player, such as validators, since, as I said, we want everybody in, and this should be everybody's thing, the Marinade. So that's the whole idea behind the program, really.
Cool. So one could say it maybe in this way, that this is not a race for funds. It's more about giving ecosystem players a seat in the governance, really.
Exactly.
Which I find quite interesting myself, and I'm fully aligned with the approach here. It's going to be interesting to see the updates about who is going to participate and so on. So we can expect that people are taking part in this token exchange program to be part of the DAO, and that is the main gist out of it, I think. Is there anything else you would like to add, Michael, around the NFT launch yesterday, maybe? I see you have a pretty awesome PFP, so...
Yeah, I'm just like, I could second to what Gekon already shared, that it's been such a long run, and I know like all the team members have been working so hard on this. So it was partly like joy to see it happen, and partly a relief that we made it happen, since again it was months of work. And yeah, as Gekon said, so huge teamwork, huge team effort. And I was super excited and surprised how we put it all together in such an amount of people working on this. So as we grew from, I would say, like 5-6 people from the super beginning now to about 30 contributors, it gets harder, that's for sure. So I was just happy how it went in general, and yeah, super excited about the next phases now with what the governance launch opened up, really. And everybody's super excited. I think it was even the right timing with everything somehow with Solana. So in general, again, super excited and looking forward to what's next.
Cool. It was an intense day yesterday. For me, I was hyped, I was scared, I was happy, I was paranoid. It was just a mix of feelings. It was a proper roller coaster ride. Okay, so thanks for the update regarding the token exchange program there. And I think it's important to underscore the nature of this token exchange program. Like Michael just said, and I also commented on, this is not to raise funds. This is to give seats in the governance to these different ecosystem players, because Marinade has to be decentralized and run by the whole community, the whole Solana community. So with that said, we have Lucio here, who deals a lot with validator aspects in Marinade and working on like the delegation program and so on together with LJ 1024 as his nickname. They're doing a extremely good job with sorting that out in a smooth way. And I think it was last week we were invited to the Solana Zone Validated Roundtable talks to talk about the Marinade stake pool and on our mission and what we're trying to accomplish. So Lucio was talking a little bit there, and it was a great session. So, but I'm curious now, Lucio, where are we right now? What are you working on, and what are you looking forward to when it comes to Marinade and Validator, so to say?
We now have the NFTs. We're minting. We are providing power to the community, but we need now to ensure that we can make, let's say, the most advanced way to vote in the Solana ecosystem. We want to all NFT holders to be able to participate in Marinade delegation strategy. This is, I think, the most critical part, and there's a lot of opinions in the forum. So it will be nice if everybody has, let's say, their 2 cents into the matter. It will be, let's say, complex and needs to be done right from the start. How do we allow the NFT token holders to participate in Marinade delegation strategy? It will be that the thing that will occupy us, let's say, a couple of months at least.
Yeah, it's not something you just sit down and write some code during a weekend to make work, right? It's quite high-end stuff. I'm going to tell Don this here. When I'm trying to follow some of the conversations within the internal Marinade DAO chats, I feel so stupid every time because like it's next level what these guys are doing. So yeah, but also a big prioritization prior for you is to make sure that people can participate in like the delegation strategies and so on. Important to keep in mind, everybody's listening. We're really doing our best here to deploy as soon as we can, really, the proper governance for all aspects around Marinade. So thanks for that. And from my end, working with the community work group within the Marinade DAO, we are doing some refurbishment in our Discord, as we have this NFTs now. So we're going to change the verification system for the Marinade role, for example. So it's going to move away from holding 20 Marinade tokens to holding at least one NFT. And we're also having some events as well, as we usually do, with the GM for coffee event in the GM channel, where you have to have the Marinade role to be able to win a coffee there every day. So you just simply go there and write GM, wish everybody a good morning, and you can win a free coffee. And then we have more ideas regarding the food corner, and there's a lot of things being brewed there. And we have the community committee as well that we're putting effort into now as well. So if there's anybody who's interested in participating more in the community building or community management aspect of Marinade, just reach out to me, and you might get a seat in the community committee. We try to create like a nice, cool group there, and together as a group decide what is best for the community when it comes to events and so on. So just want to highlight that as well. Alexandra, I see you here in the call. Do you want to add something to our discussions here around the NFTs?
Not necessarily, only that since we've managed to release yesterday online, now the focus will be, I guess, on the upgrading the NFT and bringing the joy of that part live.
The Pokemon aspect of it, right? To level up the NFTs. Cool. So when can we expect this to happen? Is there some kind of time frame available?
No, not yet.
No.
I'm also being in the same boat with the rest, catching up breath after yesterday. So let's see.
Cool. well, for all I know, the plan and how to deploy that is quite clear. So it's all about catching a breath and allocate the resources the right direction. JJ, I want to ask you also. I see you here in the call. You've been quiet. What was your perspective regarding the launch yesterday?
Hey, I think me and maybe a few other members had quite different result, because you said that you were not able to fall asleep, and for me it was the opposite. Like, I was finally able to go and sleep because everything went quite well with the launch, and that gave me a lot of relief, because just seeing a project go from a plan or proposal to grow a little bit more than we even expected, and still seeing that the team and the members contributing on the projects just doing a great job, collaborating, communicating, and in the end, when you just look back and just think of what was the project at the start, which was just one page of ideas, basically, to go through the whole process, collaborating with other projects, because we were doing some stuff and some new stuff that maybe wasn't done before, and just seeing it, pulling it off, and suddenly seeing the pictures in a channel, and just being relieved, and also finally enjoying the fruit of the labor itself. It was a great experience, and we are already talking with the project owner. Actually, we launched yesterday, and today we already had a call about what we can improve going further, how to be more efficient, and how to basically be delivering better, faster, stronger.
Oh, isn't that a song? Harder, better, faster, stronger. Scooter. Anyway,
but overall, I would just want to give. I know it was mentioned here before, but I would just want to give props to everyone who contributed, because, again, it's incredible that we were able to pull it off, and we will do even better.
Yeah, that cannot be understated. Big effort, big team effort. And JJ, I like your squid. I love those yellow ones. And also, like I said earlier, I have a weak spot for cool glasses, and I see TM and XCQ. Man, I kind of want to buy your squid or your octopus there. That one is jamming. Okay. So let's move on to address some of the questions we have here in the chat, and we have several interesting questions. So, chefs, are you ready to deal with that? Okay, let's go. So, the first question is from. It is actually from TMNXEQ. Gosh, I always have such a hard time pronouncing your nickname. But the first question is basically, when emissions to NFT holder? I'm gonna paste the link to this first question here in the chat. And who amongst the chefs here on the stage feels like
I can take it. Not chef's call. Basically, the deal is that this should go through the governance. So I wanted to write a proposal about this and didn't make it, because like launching NFT was like a previous step. But then now my road is clear, so I will write it, and it shouldn't be decided, but like by like internal team. It should be go through a proper governance to also like educate everyone. So after you voted on, is the answer. Hopefully, it should be soon. So I was saying that governance not gonna move in the rapid pace. It's gonna be like a normal moving thing. So my expectation would be like in a month and a half, if everything goes uh, okay. And I mean okay, that we actually can hear some cons or argument against, and we can improve on it. Because if everyone just gonna vote on what shares want, that's gonna be boring, and ultimately is not gonna even deliver the best results possible. So be subversive, be contrarians, and help us build together in an adversarial space, which crypto is. So after that, but it's on the list. We want it. You want it. Let's just agree on chain that it makes sense for everyone, including those people who are not listening here or not participating on the Discord, but holding the MNDE tokens.
And maybe even like you're welcome to participate or even lead the discussion, to hear more about your feedback or your ideas, how exactly you would think that should happen. So that should be part of the fun, coming to a reasonable solution or design of the system, since it's not an easy one.
Yeah, and the TMNX EQ. Oh gosh, your nickname. I hope you like those replies, and I know that you are also kind of like an OG in the Solana community, and you always come with quite interesting feedback. So I hope that you will participate in these discussions. I think around your question there on when emissions to the NFT. So yeah, looking forward to that. So let's go on to the next question here, and I see a question from K5, but it seems like Player Bits handled that question in the chat already. So I'm going to pick Ben's question as the next one. Unless K5, are you satisfied with the reply you got from Player of Bits, or do you want us to address it here on the stage? Then I will take it after Ben's question in that case. Okay, all good then. So Ben's question was, I'm curious to know for the ecosystem token distribution, if the token will be liquid MNDE or governance locked. Anybody want to take this?
Yeah,
Sure.
so like how feasible it will be. I think that we are not even 100% decided yet. I think the preference would be already locked positions. Let's see like what we can bake in a reasonable time to even make it technically feasible with what we have. So I don't think like me myself, I don't have the ultimate answer at the moment, and I think it will be still going through the discussion in the forum post that we'll set up briefly to discuss it more in detail. Anything to add, Player of Bits?
Yeah, I'm definitely with Reppe here. That this is, I believe that the community currently has about as much information on this as we have discussed internally. I mean, there's no fixed approach, and there's definitely something that we would want the community involved in the decision making for. My own perspective is to keep in mind the goal, right? The key goal here is to align incentives with other projects, meaning that we want them to involved bringing in a perspective which would require them to be vote locked from my own point of view. The idea is not just here to diversify our treasury, right? We could just do this on the market or something. But again, this is something that we will want the community involved on.
Yeah, you heard it, Ben. So once we have the forum post out, this should be discussed in detail together with our community, so we all land on, or we all are kind of aligned with this, right? And so your question makes very much sense, and I hope you're satisfied with those answers. So let's see, do we have any more questions? I don't think we have any more questions. I see Sergio G typing something. I'm gonna give you a minute here, Sergio, if you want to ask a question. Oh, you stopped writing. Okay, no question from you then. So, anybody have any closing comments to this open kitchen today amongst us chefs here on the stage?
I just want to say that I'm so excited for what's to come. That's all.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I said like twice or three times in this when we were like guests in other AMAs that one of the things that I now look forward to, we talked about several proposals, several ideas, and it looks like to me still that the Marinade token will be the most utilized token in the Solana ecosystem this year. And you guys know that Marinade team, proper shippers, we ship stuff constantly. So yeah, looking forward to see how this develops and if my call was the right one. When Magic Eden, Chief Standing Wolf Illyrian. Thanks by the way, for participating in the governance chat yesterday, and also for writing your thoughts in the forum there, Chief Standing. Much appreciated. And as I said earlier, gonna spend some time replying to that later on. When Magic Eden, I can reply to you right now that it's already Magic Eden. So we're already there. I'm gonna try to find the link. But
Now
if you
Magic
search
Eden.
on, okay, Gecko was quicker than me. So we're there and we're verified. So yeah, you could perhaps find some interesting deals there. Who knows? It's gonna be fun to see how the secondary market develops now over the next couple of weeks. Sergio G, I see you finally wrote your question. What market events are you going to announce for community growing? That is a good question. We'll see. It's all about like one aspect of the Marinade community is that we're not only an NFT project, right? And we're not only a DeFi project. And we're not only a staking project, we're like DeFi, staking, NFT, and also, so it's like we're talking about validators, DeFi appreciators, NFT lovers, developers. I mean, we're kind of covering the whole Solana with what we're doing with Marinade. So one of the ambitions we have here is to, like I said earlier, refurbish a little bit the Discord of ours. That's the first step, and make Marinade the place to be really for somebody who's interested in Solana. So there's going to be a community calendar coming up with regular events and so on. And in the end, this is all about providing value for our active community members. So there's some cool things in the pipeline. I don't dare to say too much yet, but I think and hope that people will be satisfied with what we're going to deploy here from a community work group perspective within the next couple of weeks. I hope you were okay with that, Sergio. Seeing the most welcome and a cute little donut octo you have there, by the way. Okay, so there are no more questions for us to deal
Hey,
with.
Seb.
Mm-hmm.
I would just want to mention one more thing, because you mentioned like we will be shipping stuff, and also that by this project that we launched yesterday, we are covering a large portion basically of Solana user base or types of users. And I would like to use this to again give a props to you and Brandon, because it's not just about like that we did ship and we executed some coding and stuff, but it's a lot about communication and education of the users. And I've been listening to some AMA even though I obviously knew what is going on, I always felt like you did you, Brandon, Ellie, you always did a great job explaining what actually we are shipping today and what's the purpose of this whole thing. So I would also like to give props to everyone from the communication, you, Gekon, and Brandon, everyone who worked on the content side, because we have great docs. You guys were going around and giving great AMAs and so on. So I would also like to highlight that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate hearing that a lot. I'm gonna be honest, like every time, and even now as well, every time I do like an AMA or anything like this, like talking in public, I always assume that I'm making an ass out of myself. So it's very comforting hearing this, to be honest. It's always scary, you know, a lot of pressure involved. But okay, so thanks for that. I really appreciated hearing that, and I think Brandon also loved to hear that. Brandon has pulled a lot of heavy weight recently, so kudos to you and the communications work group, Brandon. And I would also like to, when we're like thanking people, I would like to thank the support chefs as well within the community work group, has done an outstanding job during these couple of days. Superb guys to work with. So we're proud to have such good people of caliber within the support team in the community work group. So that's all from me. I don't have anything else to add. I'm seeing like the Open Kitchen AMA chat is firing off. Are we going to deal with this last question? Do the NFT commissions go to the treasury? Oh, well, that's a pretty relevant question. Let's take that as the last question, and then we sign this off. So, do the NFT commissions go to the treasury? Ben asks. That would be question number 3, I think. Gekon, do you dare to take this one upon you?
I hope so, is the answer. At least that's what was designed, that the DAO should basically take the royalty fee, which is 2% from every sale. So it goes to treasury, and then everyone who didn't sell is then governing on what to do with it, right?
Cool.
Nice touch.
Well, you heard it, Ben. It's going straight to the DAO, and then you, together with everybody else who has an Octo, is going to decide what's going to happen with those funds. So, all right. Thanks everybody who took their time to listen in to this session. It's been a little bit more than an hour long here, and we covered a lot of ground. And if you came late into this Open Kitchen, don't worry. This is going to be, well, this is recorded, and it's going to be available on our YouTube channel soon, like later today or tomorrow, I guess. And yeah, thanks for taking your time and participating, and looking forward to govern Marinade with all of you. And thanks, chefs, for taking your time to talk with the community and me today about our recent developments. So thanks, everybody, and stay safe out there. Bye.